a white police officer shot his sister about 6 times. 6 times. A white police officer, I heard he was white according to what I saw on YouTube, shot a sister 6 times. Then he lied about it. And then the police chief promised to release the body cam footage, but when he saw it himself, he decided not to release it yet, but to suspend the police officer without pay and hold a press conference where he actually went against that police officer, defended the sister, said she was right, he was wrong. Now, this happens everywhere, not just Detroit, everywhere. But I'm speaking to Detroit because we've been in Detroit for a number of years, organizing the people of Detroit to stand up and assert their right of self-determination, take control over Detroit. The police already killed the little girl. You ever heard of Aiyana Jones? They murdered Aiyana Jones. That police officer continued working, and I heard he even got promoted. Killed Terrence Kellum. Kevin Kellum, you may be watching this. Salute, brother. I love you. We're going to get justice for your son. Can't bring him back. We definitely going to get justice because we're going to get rid of those police. Killed another young boy, killed this person, killed that person, all over the place in Detroit and elsewhere, but we're talking about Detroit. So we organized the people of Detroit. Number one, as well, the people of Detroit got illegally evicted. Hundreds of thousands of people of Detroit got illegally evicted, and the government of Detroit admitted that they illegally evicted those people. Illegally taxed them by $600 million. Illegally stole houses into the hundreds of thousands of houses, took them from the people, and they admitted to doing that in Detroit. So we told the people of Detroit, look, if you want your houses back, matter of fact, if you want housing, period, because there's hundreds of thousands of empty properties in Detroit, utilize your human rights. Number one, your human right of self-determination, declare independence and control over the properties in this city and give them back to yourselves. Especially since the government admitted to illegally taking them from you. That's an act of genocide. That's an act of genocide. Let me read something about genocide, matter of fact. One of the number 3 in the Genocide Convention says, deliberately inflicting on the group conditions of life calculated to bring about its physical destruction in whole or in part. If you need food, clothing, and shelter to survive, or somebody deliberately puts you out of shelter, that's an act of genocide. They're trying to kill you. So they tried to kill hundreds of thousands of people in Detroit, and some of them actually died. And what was done about it? Nothing. What did the organizations in Detroit that we hear about, that's popular now on social media, what was done about it? Human rights policy officers and myself, we stood up to say, look, let's make this a human rights struggle. Let's assert our right of self-determination, and we take over the properties of Detroit and give them to ourselves, those of us who need those properties. And there's nothing they can do to stop that. They victimize you all over the place in Detroit. They keep getting caught doing it and admitting to doing it. They admitted to illegal evictions. They admitted to towing people's cars. The feds even came in and arrested some of them for that. All of these things they're doing, victimizing the people of Detroit. And elsewhere, we're talking about Detroit. Because Detroit, you got to stand up. At least now you should stand up. Hey, we're going into wintertime right now. Some of you are going to freeze to death. They ain't got nowhere to stay. 40,000 people literally homeless in Detroit. Yet you got hundreds of thousands of empty properties, and many of them in good condition. Assert your human right of self-determination, declare your independent control over that city, and take those houses back. Also, do the same concerning the police department. Fire the police department, replace them with yourselves. Anywhere, not just Detroit, anywhere can do that. If you don't like what the police is doing, replace the police. Declare your independence from that city, from the authority that appointed those police over you. That's called the right of self-determination. And if they want to do something to deny you that, then you have a right to do what's necessary. You have a right to go to war if you have to. Even in Detroit, that's what we declare. We declare war. Because we tried to assert our right of self-determination. It was forcibly denied through violence of the government. So we're at war. All over America, we're at war anyway. We're just not fighting back. Did you know we have a right to war, brothers and sisters? We have a right, a human right to revolution. That's why Dr. King said revolution. He said we've moved from reform to revolution. That's what Dr. King said before they killed him. It's time for revolution. We have a right to it, violent or non-violent. But it has to be based on human rights. You don't have a civil right to revolution. But as black people, if they deny us taking over and governing ourselves, we got a right to shoot and do anything possible to establish our independence. We got a right to replace these police. Marching ain't gonna do nothing against the police. It ain't gonna stop what they doing. Marching ain't gonna stop you from being homeless in Detroit. They ain't gonna get your houses back that they admitted to illegally taken away from you. Illegally taxed you $600 million and then offered you a $5 million program. That's what the mayor did. Spit in your face, say, I can't give you the $600 million back, but I'll give you a $5 million program. That's like stealing my car from me and offering me a tricycle. Give me my car back. But nothing was done about it in Detroit besides by us human rights policy officers. We got victimized. We got beat up. We have been falsely arrested numerous times. Yet the people of Detroit themselves, the organizations of Detroit themselves won't stand up. Shooting our babies down. Police shooting our babies in Detroit. And all over America. What are we going to do about it? We have a right to do something about it in Detroit. And all over America, we have a right to do something about this, even if it involves armed struggle. Let me read something right quick. Let me show y'all something. You see this right here? You might not be able to see it. Let me show you. Look at that. This is the status in international law of national liberation movements and their use of armed force. Published by, look who published this, International Association of People's Lawyers. See, those in law, they know you have a right to revolution. That's the law. The law says if they deny you your self-determination, if they forcibly deny you, if they illegally occupy you, if they alien dominate you, meaning another group of people, another race of people, take you over, control you, conquer you, you've been alien dominated. And you have a right to say, look, I don't obey you. I declare independence from you. You have no authority over me. And they try to force their authority over you. You have a right to shoot, blow up, whatever you have at your disposal to do to stop them or to destroy them. You have a right to do that. That's what the law says. That's a human right. Listen, this is what lawyers are saying. Lawyers, published by International Association of People's Lawyers. Let me say something about armed conflict. This is about that time right now. We're in armed conflict anyway, but we ain't shooting back. They doing the shooting. All we shooting is each other. Look, different types of armed conflict. Let me read this. The different types of armed conflict to which the term wars of national liberation and humanitarian law. This is humanitarian law, because we're in a humanitarian crisis. And the only way to get out of this humanitarian crisis is to take independent control of ourselves. That's the only way. All lawyers, especially those who are familiar and versed in international law, they know that black people are in a humanitarian crisis. They know that the very condition of black people is a human rights violation. So we have a right to humanitarian intervention ourselves. Listen now, and we're going to intervene in an armed struggle if they're not going to stop. Bear with me. in terms of humanitarian law has been applied here. One, those struggles of people fighting a foreign invader or occupant. Did not they invade America? Did not they illegally, and to this day are unlawfully occupying America? Now, this definitely goes out to you who say you are indigenous, claim you are native to America. Why you ain't fighting then? They are an illegal occupier. Why are you obeying them if they're occupying your land? Bear with me. Two, those that have evolved within the United States nations and identified from the practice of states and international organizations, namely colonial and alien domination. That's what we're under, alien domination, meaning another people come and subdue you, subjugate you. And racist regimes, because it's based on race, which according to Article 1, Paragraph 4 of Protocol 1, the armed struggles aimed at resisting the forcible imposition or maintenance of such situations to allow people subject to them to exercise its right of self-determination. That's the only lawful reason you can go to war, to revolution in America, via the right of self-determination. So if you say that you are a revolutionary, you can't be a revolutionary fighting for civil rights. Fighting to reform America, you can't be a revolutionary. But based on the right, all revolutions are based on the right of self-determination. So based on our right to govern ourselves, to be in independent control over our neighborhoods, we have a right to declare independence. If that independence is not respected, if those police or anybody try to come up into that community, we have a right to go to war with them. That's what the law says. Even when I was detained by the FBI, they read out some rules to me. Matter of fact, even gave me the pages from the law book talking about sedition. And I said, no, this is not sedition. This is the right of self-determination. They said, oh, well, you're right. But you're inciting people to violence. I said, well, I have a right to be violent if you forcibly deny my and our self-determination. They said, oh, well, you're right again. Well, you're dealing with foreign governments. You have to register as a foreign agent. I don't have to register as a foreign agent. I'm asserting my right of self-determination, giving us the right to deal with any foreign nation under our terms, because we're not under your rules. Oh, you're right again. But here are these laws. Take them with you. And I even increased my activity after that. Brothers and sisters, we have a right to do whatever is necessary. The existence of the United States is a human rights violation. Let me read a few of these things. This is written by, again, International Association of People's Lawyers, saying that black people have a right to armed revolution in America. Bear with me. I know I'm scaring some of you all by saying that. He said, look, the term war of national liberation. We're talking about liberation. We want to be a liberated people. Liberation. Our people were seeking liberation first, not integration. The first people who were dominated, illegally, racially, alien, dominated by white people, they were seeking liberation. They never even heard of integration. That was something we were tricked into in the 1900s. Bear with me. The term war of national liberation is not just a legal construct. It refers to a fact. Long before liberation wars were integrated into international law, they had existed as concrete historical phenomena. The Protocol's addition, therefore, do not invent a new category, but merely acknowledge a material situation already existing. These are facts, of course, that are not politically neutral, but that does not make them any less factual. Moreover, this classification of liberation wars as a category of armed conflict is based not on morality, but on law, the legal right to self-determination, meaning we're not just going to war because they're doing us wrong, which gives us a moral right to go to war too. But based on law itself, the law says you have a right to govern yourselves and be independent of white people's domination over our community. And if they try to forcibly deny that, the law says, do whatever is necessary by any means necessary. That's where Malcolm X got that term from. He didn't invent it. It was a human rights term. Still is a human rights term. You find it in the human rights law. Any means necessary to establish your independence, to enjoy your right of self-determination. Bear with me. This is what the law has said. Didn't even make this stuff up. Written by lawyers. They're quoting the law. Declaration on Friendly Relations Between Nations and Cooperation amongst States. All of these documents, genocide documents, all of these International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights, all of these things that the United States ratified, they ratified the International Covenant. They're saying we have a right of self-determination. If it is forcibly denied, we have a right to go to war. Armed struggle. Armed struggle. We have a right to form our police. So in Detroit, elsewhere, get rid of those police today. Today. Everywhere we live in America, get rid of police. Form your own. Let's form our own police force. Ain't nothing they can do about it. Say, look, we're doing this under our right of self-determination. Then they shut down. Now, if you say we're doing this based on our civil rights, they can argue with you about that. But based on the right of self-determination, they can't do anything. Based on your right of self-determination, Detroit, you can take over those properties. Take those properties back. All those empty properties, occupy those properties, Detroit. Tell them the human rights policy officer, the human rights law center said you have a right to do so. If they have any problems, tell them to come talk to us. You just instructed according to your rights to do so, to occupy these properties. By us, by human rights policy officer. Blame it on me. Blame it on us. But if I was in Detroit, I definitely wouldn't be going into this wintertime homeless when there's hundreds of thousands of empty properties. If I was in Detroit right now and they even shot my sister, I would be replacing that police force. And if those, the chief of police or anybody who wants to work for the new police force, y'all come over here, y'all can work with us, for us. We determine the rules. You won't be used as a tool against us. You won't be used as a tool to evict us from our homes. And the various ways you are used to repress black people. That's what we have a right to do. I just wanted to say that from the Detroit. I'm going to get off of this live, but Detroit, occupy those properties, create your own police force, patrol those communities, those blocks, make sure nobody comes in and tries to evict anyone. Now, if they try to evict you, shoot. I'm not saying something that we haven't done. We've done that when they tried to evict us. They even wrote an injunction, and in the injunction to the judge, he said, Judge, you got to stop unison the human rights policy officers because the land bank, all of us, we are afraid to do our jobs. We can't even go out to the properties no more because we're afraid because Eunice gave them the orders to shoot. So I'm giving you the orders again. Shoot. At least make them scared to come out. Occupy those properties. Now, they're not going to come there because they're afraid. And I'm not saying this illegally. You have a lawful right to shoot. Say you're doing it in the name of your right of self-determination. Playing with these people. They shooting babies. They shooting innocent women. And men. We got to get serious, black people. All over America. Detroit, we standing up. We standing up, Detroit.